Welcome back to the first Hawk Talk of the year. My name is Parker Robinson. We're going to be taking you through a lot. Today's all going to be focused on football, but just so you know, volleyball, golf, and cross country are practicing already, and you can find out more about them at dsubluehawks.com. But like I said, big football game this Thursday. I'm joined by Coach Pete Stanton, two-time defending North Star Conference championships. How does it feel coming into this year with that title on your back?
Well, I think it was just more into last year. We had last year's team was a good team, and really since the season ended and this winter, we've just emphasized that now we're a new team. So, it was a great honor for last year's team to do what they did, but now this year's team has a new identity. Really starting in our winter conditioning and summer things, and we're certainly looking forward to a good season.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, putting in a lot of work in the off season. What is the summer kind of plan for the team when they go out there?
Well, they have 4 workouts a week, and they're working hard. They're either going in before they go to work or later after they're working, and then we get together as a team and they run some drills and things on their own, and they do they do their lifting and the conditioning, and they really push themselves. And we had over 55 guys here this summer, so it was a really good summer that way. I think our guys that were here came in great shape and ready to go, and it's a way for them to bond during the summer and the off season and really create that identity during the summer.
Yeah, and then once you get into August here, we get into camp season, really starts to come together, and everyone starts to show up. Were there any kind of surprises when it came to that? Any standouts? Anything that impressed you?
Well, I don't know if there's any real big surprises. I think the biggest thing was just trying to mesh all the old guys that were here, the 70 or 80 of them that were here, and then adding on 35 or 40 new guys. It was probably the highest number we've ever had in a preseason camp, and we certainly have some new guys that have come in that we think are going to be able to help down the road. But we also have a lot of guys back. You look at where we were at offensively. Several of our guys that played last year are back. It's just a matter of building that depth and and getting that chemistry between our receivers and quarterbacks. And the same thing defensively. We're missing 3 of our key linebackers from last year. So it was really a case in the preseason making sure we're really getting our younger guys built up and a couple transfers in the right spots so we can have the year we want to have.
Yeah, and in terms of that new class coming in, some transfers from junior college or whatever it may be, some freshmen. Kind of what's the split on that?
Yeah, I would say, with the freshmen, the freshman class is around 30. That'll be just high school freshmen, and most of those guys will redshirt. They've got a great future ahead of them. We have a couple that will play. Usually they're guys that are receivers and defensive backs that'll play, or running backs. But most of the transfer guys, then we get them available and ready to go on the field right away. And there were 6 or 7 of those guys that'll be able to contribute this year to the team.
Yeah, and how important is that process of redshirting, learning the program for future years?
Oh, it's critical. Most of the guys you're able to do, especially the guys on the offensive and defensive line. Just physically, it's just such a different game lining up against somebody who's 260 pounds and older, and you have to really be able to match their physicality. So it's just huge for them, for the guys on the line, but even most of the guys at redshirt at quarterback or wherever, to understand kind of what we're doing with our system, and then be able to adjust to the speed and of the game. It takes a while, so it's a good first year for those guys to do that, learn our system, and within their 5th year be able to finish up those last couple of years when they're ready to really display some good things.
Right, and last year you lost a couple big names that had kind of been staples within the program. What is it like as the juniors and sophomores step into more of those leadership roles coming into this year?
Yeah, it's just a transition, and you mentioned a couple of the guys. I mean, you think a guy like Kayla Ray, who was a 4-year captain, and I told the guys last year, he's not going to be around there anymore, and you're such a tremendous leader. And Drew Johnson on defense, and No Way on defense, and those guys are just such great leaders. And but I think there are guys that are seniors this year, and the guys that are juniors this year have really come in and done a good job of leading, and I think we're going to need that leadership here as the season goes forth. We haven't played the first game yet, so it's easy to lead when things are going through workouts or practices. But what we're looking for is how our guys are going to lead when things are tough in a game, and keeping everybody together and keeping going. But we're confident our upperclassmen are going to be able to do that for us this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, game time's on its way Thursday night at 6 o'clock at the BAC, taking on a former Frontier foe, Rocky Mountain College. What can we expect from their team?
Well, they're a good team. You know, the Frontier Conference is always solid. They're a team we haven't beaten in a long time. You know, we beat them, I think, the opening game of the BAC in 2010 was the last time we beat them. And you really go back, way back in the day, it seemed like, you know, Dickinson State was beating Rocky every year. And then lately, we haven't beaten them very many times. So we know they're going to be a really good team. They you know, offensively, they have a quarterback that's returning that played most of the year last year. Their skill guys are really good. They're faster receiver, and as well as offensive line. Defensively, they return most of their linebackering cores. They got 2 great corners. We know we're going to have our hands full, and we know we're a good team, but we're excited to play them. It's going to be a good regional game for the fans to be on a Thursday night, but a lot of, you know, Eastern Montana, Western North Dakota guys on both teams, especially obviously the Eastern Montana guys on their team, and you know, I think we'll have a great following, and it's a good rivalry game for us, even though it's non-conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see any extra motivation in that, where guys are playing with former teammates or former rivals from high school?
Oh, I think so. Anytime you have that familiarity, where, you know, we have guys from Billings, several guys from Billings on our team, and Rocky's the home college of where they're at, and a lot of Eastern Montana guys. And then, of course, we've played against them in the past, and it's been a couple years since we played out in Billings, and we've had good rivalries with them. So yeah, we're very familiar with the opponent, and in some ways, like I said, even though it's a non-conference game, it's really, you know, turned out to be one of our bigger rivalry games, and I know our guys are very excited to play them.
Yeah, and in terms of your non-conference schedule, probably one of the more important games, get a win over the Frontier Conference.
Yeah, most definitely a very important game. They're all important, but, you know, we only have 2 non-conference games this year, you know, us, you know, with them and Northwestern Iowa, because the games we play within the conference twice this year count as conference games. So yeah, it's obviously very critical to get ourselves off to a good start, and you know, this is going to be an important one.
Yeah, and then kind of moving past Rocky, you hit the road, and you hit the road hard. Valley City, Northwestern in Iowa, like you mentioned, and then Mayville, a total of 2,300 miles round trips.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any preparation you can do for that?
No, not really. I think our guys are used to doing that a little bit, and, you know, Valley City will go over on the same day. You know, Northwest Iowa, you know, we've traveled like that before. I've been going, when we go out to Waldorf, it's going to be the same type of trip, and then we'll have a week off and then go out to Mayville, which we've played before. It's all part of the process. You know, good teams that win championships go on the road and don't miss a beat, and, you know, that's what we're going to have to be able to do. It is a different schedule where we're home, and then we, like you said, then we aren't home again until the end of September. So, you know, we're going to take it 1 week at a time, but for down the road, we have to play well no matter where we're playing and no matter what environment we're playing in, and that's what we'll have to say every week.
You be watching, Coach. Best of luck to you out there. We'll be back with a couple of the local students, athletes on Coach Stanton's team. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We're joined by one of the many Western North Dakota natives on the team, Seth Hook, from Belfield, just down the road. What was that journey like getting to DSU? Was it an obvious decision for you?
It wasn't, actually. I went to University of Mary out of high school, and then just after a semester there, I called Coach Stanton and I said, it's time to come be a Hawk, and best decision I think I made in my life. I haven't regretted it, and it's a great 4 years I've had here so far.
Yeah, and you kind of got hindered last year with some injury issues. What was the struggle through that, just trying to get back on the field through all of that?
It was tough when I got hurt, because it was so unexpected, and then missing the 6 games the 6 weeks that I did. It was tough because I was so excited. I just wanted to be out there with my teammates, but I had support from my family, my friends, and the community, so I was just thankful I got to even get back on the field this season, and I'm continually to play, so I'm happy with how everything turned out.
Yeah, were you able to find a role while you were out helping with coaches or whatever it may be?
Yeah, definitely. I just had to show my face around, show the guys, you know, if watching practice, I saw someone down, try to pick them up, and just be there and just know that I supported them, even though I'm not on the field. That being there, it helped them know that I was still cared about the football team, and I wanted them to do good. So
yeah, definitely. And you know, you've been in the program for a few years now. You've seen a few things. You've been a part of a couple conference titles. What can you take from all of that, plus your injury past, to pass down to these younger guys as they come through the program?
Yeah, just to we wanted to develop a program with Coach Stanton that everyone works hard, and it's a new year every year. So I mean, whatever we did in the past, we're focused on this team this year right now. Even Rocky, the first game, we're not looking past that. We're focused on Rocky and solely Rocky, and they're our main focus. So.
Yeah. Well, then let's get into it a little bit. What are you looking forward to in that first game at the BAC?
Well, my first college game here was against Rocky my freshman year. So I mean, it's my first game here, and my last first game here is going to be against Rocky, and it's a big rivalry. Haven't been our conference opponents for quite some time, but it's still, you know, we still want to beat the Battling Bears for sure. It's a thing in our locker room. Everyone knows the rivalry that used to be. So we're just really excited for the game and trying to get that W.
Yeah, and then kind of into that, you have any goals coming for yourself, for the team, whatever it may be, coming in this year?
We want to go three-peat. We want to get that conference championship, but that's definitely way down the road. We're trying to get this first win, and that's our whole team's main focus, definitely. But no really achievements I'm looking forward to. I'm just happy to be out there on the field, try to stay healthy, and just compete for another conference championship.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite memory from the past years on the field, off the field, whatever it may be, in Dickinson?
Definitely just the conference championships we've won, and I'd say the conference championships and winning all the games are great, but I would say just the road trips probably. You know, when we go to Waldorf, Iowa, or Forest City, Iowa, or we go to Butte, Montana, and just being with the guys for that whole weekend. You know, we're all there focused on our one goal of beating our opponent. So I mean, it's just good. I'll never get those moments back traveling with that many guys, all your friends. You know, it's like a big sleepover, going to play a fun game, you know, that we all love to play. So I mean, that's what I'm gonna miss most for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what's your kind of plans after graduation? What are you majoring in? Are you going to stay around town here?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on staying around here, Western North Dakota. So I'm majoring in business administration and entrepreneurship, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, best of luck to you on the field. Best of luck in the classroom. And then we'll be back with another Dickinson native talking more football. All right, welcome back to Hawk Talk, a new Blue Feather focus. This time we're joined by another local kid, Dylan Scavo. And I'm going to start off with the same question for you. Was coming to Dickinson State the obvious decision?
You know, it was between here and Jamestown. The thing that really brought me to Dickinson State, though, was the football program. Both Coach Stanton and Coach Watson were really willing to let me be a dual sport, which was, you know, a big part of my decision to come here. And then both my parents have came here. I've had a lot of family come here, so it was just kind of, you know, why not come here, just continue that, you know.
Right, and like you alluded, two-sport athlete and in the Theodore Roosevelt Honor Leadership Program, what's juggling like all of that?
You know, it does kind of get to be a lot sometimes, but Coach Stanton and Coach Watson are both really good with working with me. During the fall, Coach Watson understands it's football season, and during the spring, Coach Stanton understands it's baseball season. You know, when I get some free time, I kind of work in with the other sport, but they're both really good working with me.
Yeah, and I remember when we were in Mrs. Stark's freshman level accounting course, and all of a sudden we're seniors. What's it like to finally be a senior in your hometown, stepping into that leadership role in this final year?
Man, it's crazy. They do say time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember freshman year. It seems like it was just a couple weeks ago, but you know, I'm really excited for my senior year, starting to step into that leadership role within the college and then kind of in the community, and you know, I'm ready for my last year.
Yeah, and what kind of advice are you giving to younger players in the locker room, on the field, whatever it may be out there?
Kind of like Seth alluded to earlier, just take it 1 week at a time, one day at a time. we don't want to look forward to the playoffs this year if we are lucky enough to get there. It's Rocky right now. That's our sole focus. Get better every day is kind of a huge thing within the locker room right now. Just, focusing on this day and getting better is, a huge focus within the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, not looking forward too far, but obviously you guys have had success in the past. You don't want to forget that. Are you still learning from those experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. Failures, you should learn from them all the time, and I feel like we are learning from the failures that we had last year. Just, learning, getting better every year. As Coach Stanton mentioned earlier, we lost a lot of big leaders, so we're going to have a couple guys step up into leadership roles, but those guys that were leaders last year really taught the younger people how to lead and the right way to lead, and that was just something that I've picked up on from the leadership we've had the past couple of years.
All right. One last chance. What's everybody going to be looking for Thursday night at the BAC against Rocky?
Hopefully a Hawk win. That's first and foremost. I think a lot of us are excited to get back out under the lights. I know I haven't played under the lights since probably high school. It's really a different feeling than playing, Saturday in the afternoon. I'm really excited for that. It'll bring me back to high school, just nostalgia aspect. But we're really looking forward to playing Rocky. They're not a conference foe, but it is one of our biggest rivalry games just because we've played them forever. Last year we didn't play them, but other than that, we played them basically every year, and we're really looking forward to get out there.
Yeah, and coming out of camp, I could imagine that the guys are tired of hitting each other and ready to hit someone else. Is that true?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of us are tired of seeing the same guys every day. We're ready to see some different colors.
All right, perfect. Make sure you make your way over to the BAC Thursday night. Also, if you see a football player, make sure you stop them. Try to get one of these coupon cards. Only $20, a bunch of stuff in there that you can certainly make your money on that, trying to raise money for the football team. Make sure you make your way out to the BAC Thursday night to see Dylan, Seth, and Coach Stanton take on the Battling Bears of Rocky. Until next time, Hawks are up.